What is up, Podheads? Back with another in real time Christmas edition, Festivus for the rest of us edition, to just kind of wet your nerdery whistle the week between Christmas and New Year's, right? It's a pretty quiet downtime, not a lot of people, not a lot of content out there. Well, we didn't want to leave you hanging, so here we are. Give you a little extra.
A little bonus. Yeah, we didn't know what to do. You know, do we take it off? But then we lose the streak. We even missed a streak.
We're right. We didn't want that.
It's more for us. I mean, I don't know. I listen to a ton of podcasts. Am I going to be tuning into other podcasts the week this drops? I'm a freak and a nerd, so maybe, yeah, I don't know. So if you're listening to this, thank you, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for any of the times you maybe checked us out this year, because this is the last one of 2023. Next week is January 1st, right? So yeah, you'll get another kind of fun one from us next week to kind of round out the holidays, and then we're back hot and heavy with the nerdery in January. We've got some stuff banked, we've got some stuff percolating. We're excited to kind of dive into 2024, but you know, until then we'll have a little fun. We get some you know, a little area of grievances to do today, right?
This was fun to do because I had to check myself. It's like, how deep do I want to go? Or, you know, how deep do I want the knife to cut? And then I was like, you know what? This is light. This is fun. Let's poke fun at ourselves. Let's poke fun at, you know, maybe some weird preferences we have. But I'll probably pepper in some, you know, some legitimate ones. We'll see. We'll see how far we go. This will be a shorty. Like that's what this is.
Yeah, and I've got a couple grievances with the music industry on the whole that I'm going to throw at you, and I'm sure you'll agree, and maybe everybody out there will agree with me too, just being a fan of the industry and talking about it on a weekly basis. There's some stuff that we'd love to see change just a little bit, right?
Absolutely. So that's what this is. This is, hey, what grinds my gears? Airing of grievances. I'm going to start us off. This is one that's it's the product of me, or anyone that feels this way, likely growing up and starting their musical journey in a different era. So my first beef is the long extended rollouts of albums, the 6 singles before stuff drops. I mean, by the time the album comes out, you've heard 60% of it. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it truly feels just like a product, and it's just trying to be monetized to its most, you know, highest ability, whatever. And here's the thing. I get it. Totally get it. I understand you want to get all those streams up front, hype cycle, get it. But from an old school fan who heard something on a 7-inch or on the radio, and then you get the album, I miss that. Probably a me problem. Although we've heard from artists that are like, yeah, that was the label.
Well, and we had people on this year who are like, by the time the album is out, more than half of it will have already hit streaming, which is kind of crazy. Like, you get a 10 or 11 song album and 6 songs are already out in the world. I would imagine if you're putting together, and I'm a person who likes to listen to full albums from, you know, start to finish to kind of get the vibe of what they're going for, an artist is going for. And nowadays that there's less of that happening, I think, because of the way the industry works. But I'm with you, man. 6 singles before the album drop, when the album's 9 songs, is kind of crazy. And if it were up to me, I love that, like, oh, we just got a song from band X that I've been excited about hearing, and then bang, the album's out 10 days later. You're like, holy crap, like, let's do more of that, which isn't conducive to making money in the streaming world. But as a fan, I love that surprise kind of, hey, we're back, here's everything.
I know, and I don't even know if I love, like, the Friday surprise drop either, because it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know where I fit into that. I think there's some place in the middle that maybe could mirror what we grew up with, 1 or 2 singles. Do I really care? No, but
yeah, right. We'll do both.
But it's like, you know, movies don't release 15 trailers that make up, you know, 2/3 of the album, you know, and not, and as someone who like does see most albums as like a work of art, it's just unique, and we'll see more of it. I'm sure we'll see all of that. So that's my first one.
Yeah, I like.
What grinds your gears? Where are you at?
Oh man! All right, so clear the lane real quick. As far as what grinds my gears, I hate being priced out of big concerts. I feel like, and I don't know if it's going anywhere, but we've touched on this numerous times over the life of the podcast, where artist X will put out, they're playing a huge arena, right? Arena tours. They'll put out a bunch of tickets on sale on a pre-sale on Wednesday that are gone in 3 minutes, and then the rest of the tickets are on sale Friday, and they're gone in 12 minutes. And then you're left to fend for yourself in the secondary market, where the majority of those tickets were already going there. There was never a chance for you or I to get a face value ticket, which is already exorbitant in price. Now we've got to go pay 2, 3, 4x. So I feel like Nate. I think I sound like Nate when I say this is ridiculous, and I get it from the artist's perspective, and I get it from Ticketmaster's perspective. The fans' perspective, which is the majority of us, it sucks. Like, let me just get my tickets in peace, man.
And it's not even priced out of like a great ticket. It's priced out of getting in the building. I saw a reel or TikTok of someone who spent $500 for I think it was U2 at the Sphere, and there's obstructed view seats in the Sphere. I don't know if people know that. So like you're kind of under the balcony, so you're thinking you're going to see this like grand whole thing and this experience, but all you can see is the bottom of a balcony. It's like looking through a keyhole, you know what I mean?
It's insanity. And that's, I don't know if that changes. I know we did kind of a future of the music industry, like live music conversation, I think early in 2023, surrounding like what the fan experience might be like, but getting in the building is A1. And if you can't get into the building because either scarcity of tickets, secondary market markups, people paying out the wazoo to get into the building, and for us living in the Northeast and being 2 hours away from a big city, that's another barrier to entry to get into a show. So I love going to the small ones here in Portland, Maine, and I think you'll see more of that from us next year, is when stuff comes through that's in that kind of, hey, they're playing Thursday night in downtown 20 minutes from where I live, or Hampton Beach half an hour 45 minutes from where I live. That's easier. I can stomach $20 $30 and go into that show.
True.
But it's tough, man. And I there's big acts that I want to go see, and I'll probably see some of them, but it's hard. And that grinds my gears. That's them airing my grievances with you, Blink-182, among others.
Well, it's like, hey, do I want to splurge for a $300 ticket, or do I want to say, hey, you know what, I can sacrifice that one and go to like 10, literally 10 others. I think I'm gonna go for quantity. And it's not even quantity over quality; it's quantity and quality.
Right. But we love those smaller shows too. I mean, they're oftentimes you can talk to the artist for maybe 20 minutes before or 20 minutes after, and get to shake their hand while you're buying a t-shirt or a vinyl. That's kind of cool. You don't get that with the big venues.
All right, my next one, I'm sticking on the live music tip here, and this is kind of a combined one because they kind of go hand in hand. The first is late performance times. 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11:30.
Get off my lawn.
I mean, come on. I do get it. They want asses in the seats, drinking the beers. The longer you're there, the more opportunity there is for you to spend money at the establishment. And a lot of times it could be the band pushing that, but I feel like it's probably mostly the venue. Artists probably don't have a lot of control there. So that's one. The other side of this is when venues don't publish set times.
Right.
Publish them. A lot of shows, and might be a me problem, a lot of shows, I only want to see one band or two bands. And if I know when they're going on, I can work my schedule around that to the point where it may enable me to actually go. Where if I don't know the set times, I can't commit a night, but I can commit like 9 to 11, whatever. And on the reverse side, that might detract some people too, if for some reason. So I don't know where the sweet spot is, but for me, if I know the set times, there is a 100% better chance I can go.
I would completely agree with that. There's no harm in telling me when, roughly when band A, band B, and band C are going on that evening, because it may alter, like you said, if you can go or not. And maybe, you can get from 9 to 11, and then that makes it a lot easier. And everybody's time is tough, especially when you're, raising a family and working a full-time job. you can't just be like, yeah, hey, peace out, honey. I'm gone from 6 p.m. to get dinner, and I'll be back at midnight. Maybe, I don't know when the show's gonna end or how far I'm gonna have to drive.
I mean, you can, but you'll probably pay for it.
Yeah, it's hard to be a good partner in a relationship and also do that. So yeah, I'm with you. And as I age, I'll be 40 in the fairly near future. I'd love to know if I'm going to get out at 10:30 or if it's going to be midnight. It changes things a lot for me. I'm old. It is what it is.
And here's the thing. I know there's reasons why they don't. It's obviously to deter people from showing up for an hour. They want people there the whole time. But at some point, there's a turning point where it may detract people from actually showing up. You got to get people in the building. For me, that would help me get in.
Yeah, and merch cuts. Oh, sorry. Are we doing that one? I don't know if we're doing that one.
I didn't bring it up.
Oh, okay. Right.
I have something merch related. I'll save that for the next one.
All right. Next one is, I understand there is limited vinyl pressing plants out there, but let's not allow the one or two massive artists to gum up the works for every band ever for 9 months. Going forward. Now, I feel like it's gotten a little better now that we've kind of seen the huge wave in 2023, but Adele's going to put a record out next year, or Taylor Swift's going to put another Taylor's version out, and it's going to be, or maybe a brand new record, and they're going to have a run on the pressing plants, and it's a lot of work to press vinyl. I went and saw it in action in Asheville, North Carolina earlier this year, and it's an interesting process, and if there aren't a lot of them, and they're all tied up with making 250,000 copies of Midnights or 30 or whatever's coming out next. That makes it really tough on our indie bands and that middle class that we so sorely want to stick around in music. So end that crap.
So it's funny. I was at Newbury Comics this week doing some, I guess it would be last minute Christmas shopping, which is typical. And they have the top vinyl album sellers of the year, and I shit you not, the whole layout was maybe 20 records. I think half of them were Taylor Swift. I was like, yep, and it's like, wow. So it's this weird landscape where there's a demand for it, but it screws everyone else out. It's crazy. I think I'm totally with you, grinds my gears, and I think we're in the same pocket where, what is the solution? Do you throttle the moneymaker? I don't know. What do we do? How do we solve this?
You do a second pressing of the moneymaker when there's time for it. Like, it's not like that never gets pressed again. It's, okay, we made 50,000 copies and sent them around the country, or 100,000 and not a 500,000, and we're making it hard on everybody else. So I remember a couple Christmases ago when that Adele record came out, and I get it. They may want to make it everywhere, so someone could say, oh yeah, this is great, I'll put this into my so-and-so's stocking, or put it under the tree for him, or whatever you celebrate. And middle of January, late January, early February, walking into a bookstore and seeing 1,000 of them and being like,
they're all discounted too.
They're all... Yeah, you printed too many, and like, that is small band B XYZ not being able to do it until June and having to announce their album for pre-order 7 months in advance, and having to sit on songs, which we've heard countless times on this podcast, that then maybe we have to have that really long, drawn out, you're gonna get 6 singles out of this 11 songs because we're still waiting on the vinyl to fucking show up. So end that shit, abolish that shit.
Here's the thing with a lot of these, we're not naive to like 100% lean into all these. We know there's reasons why. We know we're having fun with this, we're keeping it light, but we still have beef with all these.
Yeah, and I'm gonna buy that record of whether it comes out 7 months from now or 3 months from now, right? If it's a band that I like. So it just it's one of those little things that irks you when you're paying attention to what's going on in the biz.
Next one, and this is merch. It's not merch cuts. Bands love the designs, hate the layouts. At 40, I don't need an all-over print on the front or the back. Give me a breast pocket, slap a little logo there, put something on the sleeve, maybe something up back. But what I've learned recently is a lot of the shirts that I've bought recently have been more just to support the band. I'm not wearing them. And like as you get older, there's band names where you're like, I don't want to wear this name. Not that I'm not one to truly care what other people think. At least I don't think I do. But when I'm not even gonna say any names, or when I have certain band names out of context, look like a goddamn weirdo, which is fine. Like I embrace the weirdness. Like you're listening to a nerd podcast of people two guys that care about this stuff more than 99% of the population. Punchline here is, give me a breast logo. Give me something subtle.
Totally.
Am I in the minority there?
No, I agree with you. And the majority of my band t-shirts look like that now. They're I'm wearing this is a distillery, the one that I'm wearing right now, but this is perfect. It's this tiny little breast pocket logo of a place that we visited a couple weeks back that we really liked, and I want that out of my band t-shirts. And I'm with you. Like if it's this big, huge, gaudy, like it's just not. I'm not gonna wear it. Now maybe that's another get off my lawn, I'm an old guy situation. And if you're 20, you're saying
it is.
Yeah,
it's part of that.
I'll
It's
wear
totally
that.
part of
I don't
that.
care. But yeah, it's maybe cater to both, you know? We love a lot of these bands, and I wouldn't mind wearing a t-shirt out. I just can't wear one that is, what they're putting out there right now. So I'm with you.
Good. Yeah. No, I feel like, I mean, if I look at t-shirts that I have and have worn over the years, I didn't think this way when I was in my 20s. So I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
It's definitely an adult thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of the bands I love are old, at this point they're older folks. So hey, maybe they crack the code and they know what sells. I just think across the board you'd probably move more merch if the designs are great, just location and sizing.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to get into, we've each done a couple, right? We want to get into a couple things about the podcasting game that kind of grind our gears a little bit.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Let's let it go. Let it rip. That's what you came here for.
This is not to say the people that we've worked with, especially this year, have been phenomenal as far as guests that we've had on, people that are setting PR people behind the scenes. We have a great relationship with a lot of those folks. Really, really happy to work with the people that we get to work with,
100%.
Yeah, this is just total tongue in cheek, but yeah. the world that we live in, it's a grind, right? Like
Totally.
Trying to figure out times, trying to get somebody to answer an email or a DM, trying to get bands to maybe not even bands, maybe they're people that are representing them to put things in front of eyeballs that we know they're going to say yes. We've actually maybe talked to them in person or something like that. Let's all be a little more transparent. That's my 2020. That's a resolution, I guess, for 2024. I'm going to be a little more transparent in that stuff. Like let's just be who we say we're going to be, and let's answer those DMs and those emails, man.
I'll say this: the music industry, it's an interesting place. I mean, you got a taste of it, Tone, over the years, with radio friends and their contacts. I've certainly got a taste of it working in college radio. Just the personalities. Most people have an agenda, which, I mean, a lot of people, that's what they're paid to do. So there's always going to be an element of that. But I will echo this. Musicians are, a lot of them didn't get to where they are based on their communication skills.
Totally. And you and I think, are very similar in like, just show me where you are and we'll meet you wherever that is. But we need that first piece to happen a lot of times. So. Yeah, and there again, this is not to knock anybody we've had on. Everybody we've worked with over the course of close to 4 years have been phenomenal and have been, timely and agreed to talk to us two idiots for, an hour.
Kidding.
So all the people, and there are people that we have on the hook that we hope this happens, and we're not knocking anybody in particular. This is just come to a middle ground. Let's all be a little better with our communication in 2024.
And upfront too. You know what I mean? You can say no.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You can say no.
Yep.
But that's not a problem. No one knows us anything.
No.
It is just interesting, these things that kind of percolate and, you don't even think of when you start a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Think these certain things to consider and personalities and, it's not the corporate world for sure. There's no, the turnaround time expectations are very different in the music industry. And
Totally.
you'd think it would move faster just with the nature of, people wanting to get things done and the agendas that people have. It's just interesting. Yeah, I would say our expectations now versus early on are completely different, just based on now we know what's in the realm of possibility.
Right.
We're being super vague.
Yeah.
I think by design, to protect the guilty. I was gonna say protect the innocent.
Well, the innocent are protected. We've had anybody in our backlog has been phenomenal. So again, we're just two idiots who started a podcast 4 years ago with a third idiot who's going to be with us here in the next couple of weeks, just trying to have some fun talking about music. And the fact that we've been able to talk to all those folks, and I say this every week, is a pinch me moment, and we love it. So we're happy that anybody is giving us the time of day. But hey, I'm fine with no. If you can't do it, tell us no, or hey, down the line when we've got something to promote. I love those emails back because that makes sense to me. But just being a little bit better at it. And I think that could be said for everybody. I mean, I'm sure I could improve on that myself at times. So this is not to knock anybody in particular. It's just the things you notice while doing something, building something from scratch, and who's good at what, and figuring out those people as you go along. It's been a fun ride, an interesting ride, and I'm not going to change any of it because it's great.
No, it is all part of the story. And I don't know if we'll save some of the examples. We won't say any names, but it's funny. I have what grinds my gears grievance here that kind of contradicts and goes against what we just kind of agreed on. And I'll tell you what my next one is. I have a bone to pick with music fans that underestimate the sacrifice that goes into being a band. And I can give a few examples. There's music fans that say, hey, well, you never come to this part of the country. Well, hey, we're not a full-time band. I have a family. I have kids. This doesn't pay the bills, but there's fans that can't truly understand that, or fans that, are maybe saying, hey, where's the next album? Well, it's an album from a band that was popping 20 years ago that you still love. It's not my top priority in life. And I think we take for granted that as fans we're owed stuff. And I know you and I are not in that camp, but maybe when we were younger. As we're older, no. I mean, if we take Deftones, if they never put out another album, I get it. I'm happy. If they never toured again, I'm happy. And this has nothing to do with Deftones. It's just an example of, as I get older, I realize the sacrifice that goes into it. Some of it stemmed from this podcast, even just this little podcast. We don't have to leave the house and we can understand it. But I think as music fans, I have a beef with anyone that undermines how much goes into art, I guess is the punchline.
Yeah, and it's tough as an artist to put yourself out there every 2, 3, 4 years to throw that into the mix. So like, maybe you had the album that popped off, and now you've got to come up with the next album, and it needs to pop off. And then with the fleeting nature of art in this world to begin with, it has a moment for maybe a month, and then people kind of are on to the next thing, or a week, and people are on to the next thing, and that's unfortunate too. So if you like the record this year, go back and listen to it again, especially if you haven't spun it since March or April. And we talked a little bit about that stuff last week. There are records that I listened to in March and April that I need to go back and spin again because I did really like them, and they were a lot of time and effort was put into maybe that 3-year album cycle for that artist. And it's not just that they woke up one day, wrote a record, and put it out for you. Like, there's a lot more that goes into it. And then if you really want to feel bad about how people treat their favorite bands, go look at any tour announcement on Twitter or Instagram, or just peep the comment section, because everybody will be like, why aren't you coming to my town? And I've done that. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Totally. But, yeah.
But I get it. Like, there's a reason they can't maybe come to your town, because they're playing somewhere an hour and 15 minutes away, and there's a rule against it, So you never know. And yeah, it's a lot harder to be even a somewhat profitable band in 2023 going into 2024 than it ever was before. So be happy we get with that stuff. And yeah, people will do better for sure. But I love the industry. I love the music. I love all of it. I don't want it to go anywhere. Support your favorite band.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if you want anything to stick around, you got to support it. And here's the thing, if you don't care about it, just don't be surprised when it's not there anymore. That goes for venues, that goes for labels, that goes for bands. And here's the thing is there's no pressure from, I don't say that in like, hey, go do this. No, it's more of, hey, if you don't be surprised if it's gone. That can go for your favorite local restaurant. We've seen that so many times. Support them. Otherwise, there'll be a day where it ain't a thing.
Absolutely. Yep. So like we always say, buy that t-shirt, buy that record directly from the band, spin their stuff. If you can't buy it physically, spin your favorite podcast, rate, subscribe, like, tell a friend, hook some friends up. Let's go. I'll send you a sticker. We have stickers still. So
we won't go into these because I think we're probably going to get out of here soonish, but other ones I had number of openers. Keep it to 2. Unless it's like a local gig, keep it to 2.
Or set times are super short. If you're going to go like 10, 15, 20 minutes, you can have 5, but not if you're going 45 a piece.
Keep it moving. Cold weather shows. And this is a funny one. You're living in the Northeast. What do I do with my jacket, guys? What do I do? Do I bring it? Do I not bring it? What am I doing? Leave it at home, freeze my ass off, bring it to the show, stuff it in the corner, someone swipes it.
I have an answer. Send a drone out to you to take it, and then send the drone back to you when the show is over.
And then last one, living in the corner of the U.S. It's funny because we choose to live here, and we do get a lot of good stuff. But it's just, why couldn't I live in New York City and get those shows? And then I'd be pissed about how much money I'm spending. So everyone loses.
That's a great way to end 2023. Everybody loses, guys. Just
no one can win. No one can be. Not all of us can be satisfied all at once.
Exactly. So if you have any grievances you want to air with us, hey, if there's something we're doing that you hate, hit us up in the DMs. I don't care. I want to read that stuff. I kind of like it, actually. It may make us better as podcasters too. So hit us up with that. If you've got any music world grievances, I know a few out there will. Please let us know what you're thinking, and we would love to get some feedback from you, the listener. And stay tuned next week. Fun one. Week after, really fun one, which you guys will be stoked for. I don't think we've recorded it yet, but if it happens in the next couple days, it's gonna be awesome. And the week after that, I think, is episode 200. So pretty cool stuff coming from us here in the near future.
Yeah, and maybe most importantly, with this episode release, we keep the streak alive. There's no breaks. We
did it.
There's no PTO. We
did it, baby.
Yeah. Come back, come often. See you next week.
Peace, potheads. Thank you for listening to Podioslave. We are at Podioslave on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of the places that you can find us on social media. Facebook, Podioslave Podcast. YouTube, Podioslave Podcast there. Email us at podioslavepodcast@gmail.com. And hey, if you want to become a supporter, click on the link at the bottom of the episode and give us $1, give us $5. It keeps the lights on, keeps us going. We really appreciate that stuff. Thank you.